So that brickwork, you know what I mean? Like it's got to get taken back to wherever the natural rock is.
Sitting high on a hillside, looking down on the rest of Brisbane, this Ascot property was the pride and joy of its architect owner for close to 60 years. A classic example of Australian mid-century architecture. This property was sold in April 2020 for $2.9 million. Now its glory days are long gone, and the new owners have called in the team from Urban Earthmoving to make way for a new home. But they're a little picky as to what they want to keep.
But all of the sandstone and that, we want to try and preserve it. All that stays. I mean, you know, if this gets damaged, just pop them out, but try to preserve the gardens.
The team only has 2 days to complete this complex demo. The house sits at the back of what's known as a battle axe block, with only a narrow driveway connecting it to the street. Access will need to be widened to get trucks in. The building is split over 3 levels on sloping ground. The crew needs to carefully work its way through, removing the extensive steel superstructure while avoiding both the natural sandstone integrated throughout the design and the landscaping that the owners want to preserve.
A lot of planning that goes into these things. It's not just as easy as just going and knocking it down.
Deno will be running the show, but he's not a man known for his delicate touch.
I prefer to just go and smash things, so, but, you know, take the good with the bad. This demo is a bit more technical than some that I do. We've got to try and keep the natural landscape the best we can because we're going to rebuild off that footprint. And so it's going to be a very time-consuming sort of process.
Due to the restricted access and delicate rockwork, Deno is using a small 10-ton excavator with rubber tracks to minimise damage to the surface. It might be small, but a new one of these will set you back at least $100,000.
All right, ready to roll.
Deno has spent the morning tearing down this house. But now he has some building up to do.
What he's trying to do is get enough material to build himself a ramp because he wants to get up on this flat deck here. And once he builds his ramp, he'll get up on here and get a stable platform and get the rest at this level.
It's a delicate balancing act on an unstable surface and a painfully slow process to gain ground. And even when he reaches the top, there's no sense of security.
Long way down from up here. There's a 2-story drop down there. When we use a dust suppression, it makes it pretty slippery. So you can see, like, every time I sort of bite into something and go to break it, it sort of slides.
What's the worst case scenario there for you then?
I fall over and die.
But Deno's fate will have to wait. Despite all the effort to get to this elevated position, the dump truck has turned up.
One of my trucks just come in and I load him up with some light gauge steel. That's all the tin roofing and things like that. Because when you're moving back and forth across the piles, it sort of flicks around and can scratch the digger or whatnot. So I'll go get him to recycle that.
Crawling his way back to the top of the terraces, Deno is determined to eat into the demo, grabbing at anything he can get his claws into. But it's quickly becoming apparent he's bitten off more than he can chew.
Starting to not be able to reach any of the house, so I'm going to have to start looking at going down that way a bit more.
It's now a question of, can a hastily built pile of debris support a 10-ton machine down a 2-level drop?
Probably should suss out before I die.
So he's crushing up as much material as he can to make himself a ramp because the reach is very limited. So for him to get to the rest of this house, he's going to have to get down there. And because the client has stipulated that we're not to hurt the landscaping, so we can't go down to the left of the building or to the right. So he has to go through it. He's going to struggle with that beam in the centre because of the reach of the machine as well. Every time he goes to pull on it, he slips. So it'll be interesting to see what he does there.
Worst case scenario, if that all goes, that beam will hold me.
Yeah.
With his rubble ramp in place, Deno cautiously moves forward. For the moment, the steel beam is acting as a safety net for the excavator. But as he teeters on the edge of stability, Deno gets a call.
Really? You gonna ring me while I'm about to die?
The timing couldn't be worse, perched in this precarious position.
Where was I? Oh, I'm about to die.
Satisfied he's not slipping away, Deno takes advantage of his slanted base to reach further into the structure. In this finely balanced operation, one wrong move could mean the difference between progress and peril. Despite Deno's carefully executed maneuvers, his machine appears to be stuck. Well past the point of no return, the only way is down. With the bucket as a brake, it's a matter of edging forward ever so slowly, making the path up as he goes. It's a tense time for Deno. Little wonder this normally calm operator makes an unexpected stop.
Seatbelt saved lives.
The last piece of the path is the steepest. So close to safety, Deno hits another stumbling block. Stuck on an awkward angle, he uses his bucket for leverage to get out of the tight spot.
Somehow, he has managed to get that machine down that slope and not roll it. And I'm very impressed.
I didn't die.
And he didn't die. Mate, talk to the man himself. That was impressive. I just have to say, fucking nice life.
I'm gonna change my undies.
Back on solid ground, Deno wastes no time, tearing the place apart. The excavator is now well placed to reach the furthest extremes of the structure. The walls offer little resistance,